classroom blocks for secondary schools.
The commissioning of the new classroom blocks is expected to enhance the school's learning environment and improve the quality of education. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was received by a large crowd of residents and students, said the simultaneous inauguration of 16 new blocks of classrooms across the state is a testament to his administration's commitment to providing top-quality education for all residents. The governor further emphasized that the construction and renovation of these schools not only improve educational quality but also create jobs, stimulate the local economy, and provide livelihoods for workers involved in the projects.
Do one commission or two, we have to do it in concurrent and in large number. And today, in the past 1.5 months, we've been commissioning roads, we've been commissioning drainages. Now is the education sector, which is under a Teams Plus agenda. For some of you that are monitoring, earlier today, we went and commissioned the very ultra-modern, beautiful classroom block in a brand new school of Ajegunle Junior High School in Koshofe local government area on our way here. Also earlier today, with the Permanent Secretary, Tutor General, and 1 or 2 cabinet members, they've gone ahead to commission the Odogunyo Junior Grammar School, also here in Ikorodu. You can see that these ambitious events consolidate our commitment to development and pursuit of educational excellence and the social economic development in our state. Education, we say, is a cornerstone of our Teams Plus agenda. It's the engine that drives economic growth. It reduces inequality and empowers individuals to break the cycle of poverty. By investing in these schools, we're investing in the social economic fiber of our various communities. Earlier today, and you could see it from the video, I was deeply moved when we went to the Ajegunle Junior High School. This was a community that has been denied for the past almost 15 years. When heavy flooding ravaged the entire community and they lost the only school that they had. But about 2.5 years ago, they did wrote to us passionately and we did responded. Driving into that community this morning brings a nostalgia of the real essence of governance. When government make a promise and you keep a promise. Not only have we done the road into that community, that school had almost 150 pals. We did not consider the extent of what resource we needed to do to give that community a befitting world-class educational institution. And they also have the sporting grounds because a canteen and a football pitch was also constructed for them.
In the address, other speakers say the structures would not only enhance academic excellence, but also provide a conducive environment for learning.
Your action consistently reflects the premium you place on learning, demonstrating a deeper appreciation for its transformative power. Indeed, this is a shining testament to your dedication to educational advancement and holistic well-being of our students.
Keme Balong got attention following instructions from Mr. Governor when he got information that the post state of the classroom blocks had 3 bungalows here before. To my left here, you see 2 bungalows still existing. In between those 2 bungalows, there is another one. So when we came here, we realized that they are all in derelict situations. We conducted some soil tests, and the result of the soil test immediately advised that we need to demolish one of the bungalows. When we did that, it became obvious that the classroom rate to student ratio was not adequate. The population spiked, and as a result, when we approached Mr. Governor, the situation we are having here, he instructed the construction of the edifice we are seeing to my right. Thank you very much, sir. to do this building, typical with our modus operandi, standard operating procedures of scripts that have been laid down by Mr. Selibo, we conducted a structural test in this environment to be sure of the type of foundation we are going to put this building on. Because we don't have to assume that Ikorodu is solid soil. So what we do generally as a standard operating procedure that Mr. Governor has insisted we go through is to do a soil test to be sure, because we don't want to have any collapse.
The Lagos government says it has constructed about 1,290 blocks of classrooms across the 6 education districts of the state and also rehabilitated over 4,000 classrooms in both primary and secondary schools in the state within 6 years. It's promised to deliver some of the ongoing road projects in Ikorodu and build more primary and secondary schools for the benefit of the residents.
Education is the future of any nation. So it should be paid, they should pay close attention. But where I want improvement is the teachers, because teachers can only teach what they know. So our teachers in those schools need more trainings because they can't give what they don't have. What I've observed is that some of the teachers are not even qualified to teach. So they should pay attention to this. Their trainings, they need to be trained to train. If they don't have the training, no matter what facility they put down, nothing will, because it's what goes into the hearts of the children that will come out in the society. So education is very fundamental. It's a vital key to the development of a state, a nation, or any country. So that's my take on that. They should pay attention to the teachers. Because if you have a teacher that knows what they are teaching, the children will learn well and they will understand what they are learning. Teachers determine how, because these teachers are like leaders, they're like role models to the students.
We shouldn't even be thanking them for that. It is the right of every Nigerian to be educated. Constitutionally, at least from the primary school to secondary school, at least, every student, every Nigerian child has that constitutional, right to that educational, stages of the stages. You understand? For me, I believe we are still lagging. So many out of school children, especially in the north, we are better off here in the south, but we can do more. We have always taken the forefront in terms of education. We continue to do more. There are so many of our children out there who are not in school today. If the education is made affordable, if classrooms are moved closer to those children, there wouldn't be any need for them to trek miles before getting to their school or entering buses that will take them kilometers before they get to their school. Schools should be brought closer to them, and if it's not brought closer to them, there should be programs, facilities that will ensure that they are taken to school and brought back home. Then again, it must be affordable. It's even, I believe it should be a criminal offense for any family or parent not to send its ward to school, especially where the government has provided the needed classrooms. And I believe, while I do not want to thank the government because it is right of every Nigerian to go to school. I believe they should do more, and they are trying. I want to appreciate them for that.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we are in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. That is truly commendable by the governor. Our next story focuses on the commissioning of the new bus terminal in Abule Egba suburb of Orile Agege Local Council Development Area in Lagos State, which has now been integrated into a expanding network of modernized public bus stations connecting various communities in Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu officially commissioned the newly completed Abule Egba bus terminal, aimed at improving and facilitating seamless mass transportation between suburb and other parts of metropolis. Can we take a look?
This new Abule Egba bus terminal has officially been opened to the public by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu alongside his deputy Femi Amzat and other stakeholders. The launch is part of Governor Sanwo-Olu administration's commitment to build a seamless and integrated transportation network that will provide Lagos residents with improved daily commuting. The governor, speaking at the event, disclosed that the project is a fulfillment of his pledge to upgrade the public transportation system for the people of Lagos.
Today, here in the ever-bustling Abule Egba, we're here to hand over to the people another public infrastructure that will aid their seamless commuting from here to other parts of Lagos and even perhaps to other parts of the country. This infrastructure reflects our commitment to continuously enhance our public transportation system. We're strengthening connectivity and we're improving the overall experience of our commuters. We are dedicated to taking ongoing steps to advance and to modernize public transportation across the state. You see that in addition to the blue line, to the red line that are in operation, you are aware that we are making moves to kickstart a 68-kilometer green line from Marina to the Lekki Free Trade Zone. You are also aware that we're in discussion stage, haven't done some feasibility on the Purple Line, which is a 60-kilometer from Volkswagen, which is an offshoot from the Blue Line, to all the way into Ogun State, the Redemption Camp by Mowe. We believe these are all connectivity that will enhance the rail infrastructure. You'll recall sometime last year that we went and signed MOU with Czech and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated to bring about the fusion of the Green Line. And I'm happy that work is starting very soon. Discussions are in advanced stages. Designs and drawings are being completed. And before the end of this year, you will begin to see the construction of that all-important Green Line project. That project, when completed, even has a capacity to carry well over 600,000 passengers at its peak. And so this is big public transportation solution that we're about. I'm happy thank you. I'm happy that our rail infrastructure continue to contribute to the mobility of Lagosians. To further enhance that, we are also improving and enhancing our bus services. We are anticipating the arrival of new CNG buses and electric buses by the third quarter of this year. They are being produced as we speak, and I believe everything will be done preparatively to begin to receive these buses before the end of this year. This, we believe, would be a major addition to our current fleets, which will improve availability of buses and reduce waiting times at all bus corridors.
Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Osiyemi, through his permanent secretary, said the state policy reflects the government's commitment to safe, reliable and affordable transportation for all residents.
This is much so as the movement of commuters, goods and services from place to place are vital and inseparable aspects of global and urban economic survival. Over the years, the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation has reflected the contemporary realities and the vision of the present administration as regards equipping Lagosians with an efficient and effective transport system. This informed the various policies the ministry adopted to ensure reduction in traffic congestion at places where otherwise motorists and commuters spend many unproductive hours in traffic. You will all recall the executive order signed by Mr. Governor on traffic management, following which very critical junctions were identified and remodeled to mitigate traffic gridlock. The government has worked on these junctions to engender better traffic flow. We can attest to the salutary effects of such improvement on Allen roundabout, Lekki first and second roundabout, and the ongoing improvement at Toyin Okpebi Allen and at the Bola Subdivision areas. To better manage traffic-related issues such as overspeeding and indiscipline on the road, the government, through the ministry, has installed ITS in some areas of Lagos State. We have installed e-police signs at Allen Avenue Junction and Nuruddin Olo-Okoko Road. We have also installed road signs to inform motorists of these regulations. About a year ago, Mr. Governor unveiled the state transport policy, a roadmap to Lagos' brighter, more effective, efficient, and sustainable future. Mr. Governor informed that the policy became necessary to eliminate the barrage of transport challenges facing the state's transport system, ranging from traffic congestion to pollution and inadequate infrastructure. The Lagos State transport policy is built upon a foundation of inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation. It embodies the government's commitment to providing safe, reliable, and affordable transportation options for all residents, regardless of their socio-economic status or location within the state, as well as integrating our various modes of transportation. The soon-to-be Commissioner Abelegba Bus Terminal therefore reflects the letters and spirit of the Lagos State transport policy. It is to provide a central place for connecting to different parts of Lagos, and based on this, I want to congratulate Mr. Governor on commissioning yet another impactful and life-changing infrastructure for the Abule-Egba community of Agege and the entire Lagos State. Mr. Governor, please be assured of our desire to continue to work until the last hour of this administration to bring your vision and that of the state government to reality.
This administration prioritizes traffic management and transport as the first pillar of its Themes Plus agenda. The Lagos State government has been and is still investing in the provision of infrastructure for public transportation, including rail, bus services, and water transportation. To properly coordinate bus operations in communities, bus terminals are necessary and are thus provided. Bus terminals are important because they provide a central location for passengers to board and exit buses and connect to other forms of transportation. To date, the Lagos State government has provided bus terminals in Ikeja, Oshodi, Transit Interchange, Aja, Oyingbo, Yaba, Ojota, Ifakoijaye, and now at Abule Egba. Iyano Ipaja bus terminal is currently also under construction. Like other terminals before this, Abule Egba terminal has loading bays, a terminal building with a customer service area, a waiting area, spaces for restaurants and other commercial services, offices for ground staff and other BOCs, public conveniences, a water treatment plant, and provision for green energy, amongst others.
This development has integrated Abule Egba, located in the Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, into Lagos's growing network of communities connected by modern public bus stations. Abule Egba residents have commended the governor for the project but urged for affordable bus fares.
Abule Egba too is moving forward. If you look at the Abule Egba, they've changed it compared to 5-10 years backward, because I lived at Songo, something like that. But they've changed the face of Lagos as a whole, and they are building gradually. So I will tell Lagos State as a whole that they should remember us in Badagry. Presently, I reside in Badagry. God will help them. They've tried concerning the express road there, and God will help them to do more and more to all sectors, all areas in Lagos State, up Lagos State, up Nigeria.
When you are partaking in BRT buses, it applies to everyone, whether you own a car or you don't. It decongest the traffic on the highways, so everybody don't have to put their cars on the road. So sometimes if you don't have a special function, you can just leave your car back home and make use of the public transport like the BRT. So the one in Abule Egba, I think it's like, you know, and because that place is heading towards Ogun State, Abeokuta. So if you are able to get there faster, you can, you know, continue your journey to other areas. And people that are staying there, they can easily live like in outskirts of Lagos, while they live there. And they can go to work and come back on time without wearing out. So it's helping the masses a lot.
Sanwo-Olu added that the state expects new CNG and electric buses by the third quarter of 2025 with the aim to enhance Lagos bus services. He also urged residents to take ownership of the project to prevent vandalism of the infrastructure.
Welcome back. Lagos residents are truly reaping the benefits of taxpayers' money. Kudos to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team. Well, that's all we have on this episode of Lagos Voices. I'm Sydney Okafor. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Ayetoro community is a theocratic communist setting funded by a group of believers known as the Apostles in 1947. Ayetoro community in its heydays has the largest per capita income in the whole of West Africa. Initially, Ayetoro community was 15 to 20 kilometer landmass away from the sea. But as it stands now, more than 10 kilometers of the total landmass has gone into the sea. And this frequent surge is attributed to emission from multinational oil companies off the coasts of our land, not minding the environmental challenges and disasters.
This is a community established in one of the Nigeria base. A lot of people you see in the offshore were trained here, both mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, and nautical engineer were trained in this bush. Yes, this bush, I call this place bush. And this is the Shepherd Technical Workshop approved by the IWD, which is now Minister of Transport. IWD means the Inland Waterway Department. That is the colonial time.
This place is like small London. So, and our primary occupation here is fishing. You can see now, everything now has been eroded. Some of our fishermen, they have went to other places to find for their source of livelihood.
It's just a sudden that we have been experiencing sea culture coming every day by day. And since that time, we have been making effort to the federal government because we are law-abiding citizens. We believe that we cannot engage ourselves in a radical ways because we believe that by protesting, writing letters, federal government can come to our aid. By the videos, a lot of things we have been doing since we have been expressing the sea church.
I'm shooting. That area, that is the iconic worship center. Yeah, that wood. That is the iconic worship center. Over there, we have the community service center here. Over there. Then at the same time, the major streets where other minor streets were linked to has been permanently submerged by the ocean surge.
I'm seriously worried. I'm worried because this recurrency surge is affecting us in virtually all human aspects of our life. Social life has been collapsed, economic-wise has been collapsed, health-wise, nothing to sing and dance home about. Even our religious activities, our life, religious life, has been collapsed totally. Because Ayeto community is a religious setting. The church moved here. We have not just come here to trade or to do other activities. The church is the community is the church. So every aspect of our life has been totally, damaged by this current, recurring sea surge happening in Ayeto. Over 20 years, we've been into this. People have lost, several properties worth millions. Buildings has collapsed. Over 500 to 600 to 700 buildings have been washed away. Our industrial power has been collapsed. Ayeto community is known to be a self-developed community on its own without any intervention of the federal government or the state government over the years. Yet we kept on going. If by now the ocean surge as a result of the oil exploration that is going on in our offshore is destroying our land. Up till now, we cannot see the hand of the government coming to help and to rescue us. It is so sad, and that's why I'm worried.
Ṣé ẹ bá wo gbogbo ibi ilé ló kún bẹ̀, gbogbo ilé yẹn ni òkun ti parẹ́ pátápátá. Bó dẹ̀ ṣe ń wó ilé yẹn ló ń wó gbogbo àwọn ohun àlùmọ́nì wa, àwọn ohun tí a ní ilé, ohun ẹrù wa, ìmí gan tó bá ń wo báyìí tí a bá tètè dìsámúra àti gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ó gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ nìyẹn.
Fund the trip of those guys. Trip of those guys.
This thing is excruciating, it is extreme. In fact, every blessed day, people used to die because of the thinking that the community that was funded at their present has been eroded. So it is extreme, it is serious, it is harrowing.
My father's house happened to be the extreme house before the Atlantic Ocean. We lost it 2017. 2007, that was when we lost it. It's highly devastating. Even the one that belonged to my grandmother, we lost it. That was along primary school road. We lost it too. So I've been affected. I'm highly devastated. Now I'm a tenant in my hometown. Imagine how is it? Highly devastating. We need support of the entire world to save this community. Ayeto community is a community that must not go into extinction. It's a very serious situation.
So the community is divided into two, the up and the down. So the up is reserved for the male. Why do that? Because they want them to access the sea quickly because of the occupation they engage in. Then the downside is reserved for the female so that they can dry their fishes because the Atlantic breeze is coming from the up, so that the smoke will not disturb the community from up. That was why they situated the downside for the women so that their kitchen can be downside. So you have Bale, Abejoye, Korodun Aneroye, Adedoyin, Alebiosun, Bishop, Arojolu. Then so after Arojolu you have the information house or the glass house as we used to call it.
So where's the glass house now?
It's gone already.
It's some month already.
That is where all the information regarding the Ayeto community, people coming just like you came now. All the information you buy your trip, what you are going to do, when you are going to, you go back, so it will be documented before you go into the community. That was how it was done then. Then the city hall or civil center, then too, all of them have gone. After the city hall, you have Ojomo Street is gone too. So behind Ojomo, we have the church building, the church street and the church building is gone already.
And that church is very important.
Very important. That is where they situated that night of January 12, 1947. They situated when they came in. Now we have Akinjoye, we have Ajayi. Then in Ajayi Street, you have the first Ogeloyinbo Palace built with wood. So that one is gone too. We have the Olowojayi. Then after Olowojayi, you have the shoe making industry.
There used to be a
shoemaking industry. One of the industry, a small scale industry. Then behind the shoemaking industry, you have the clothing making industry too. So that one too is gone. So we have after Olowojayi, behind it is the shoemaking and the clothing making. We have Olowo Topa Oyinbo. We have Omogbenwa. Then after Omogbenwa, we have the carpentry workshop. So the carpentry workshop too is currently threatening. Half of it is gone into into the sea. And then you have Tobase. Then you have, after the Tobase street there, you have a mini supermarket. There's a mini supermarket there. So after the mini supermarket is where you have Oyetomi Street. So from the upside,
where's the mini supermarket?
This is just behind the what's it called?
But it's still there.
We can still find it there. So after the what's called the mini supermarket, you have Oyetomi Street. So from the main side now, the main streets, Oyetomi Street is the only surviving street you can find up.
And it's been threatened.
It's threatened. In almost we only have just 2 buildings.
That is where my mother's father's house was situated, and it has been eroded.
Those are just 2 houses.
And your fear now is that this side, where the female side might be affected. So it's like everybody has moved to this side now.
Yes. So most of the male now, they are actually residing with their wives.
With their wives.
Their wives. So the Oyetomi is the only one that you see. Then from the downside where you have the
and this broad street is no longer existing.
It's gone completely. It's gone completely. Where you can have the broad street, the beauty of the broad street now, it's around the Block Palace. That's where you can have the beauty of the broad street.
Okay.
How it looks like.
tẹ́ ẹ bá wo ọ̀hún yẹn church wa gangan the main church táwọn baba ńlá wa kọ́ ó ti wo àtúnkọ́ mi ó tún wo.
The church is where all the inhabitants of this land will gather to worship God, because that was the revelation our forefathers received. This place is a Christian utopian religious community for the service of God.
It has actually changed the landscape totally. Let me put it that way. Why do I say so? It's because when you look at the land mass, as at when our founding fathers came here, 1947, it is about 20 or 10, 15 kilometers to the shore. So people had to trek. I think Dr. Noge wrote a book about Ayeto community, that the only challenges that the fishermen, because Ayeto is known for fishing, the only challenges that they are having, it is the accessibility to the shore. Too. That is as at that time, and it's been a long time. So it has actually changed the landscape, and we are worried about it.
This is the community technical college. Here we are. Now you can see now these are debris, has been ravaged by the sea surge. Now that place, that is the bakery that we are using before. This last month, the sea surge has ravaged this place, and we've relocated to another place. So it is serious. That is the powerhouse generating plants. It has been affected, greatly affected by those sea surge. We also have dockyard over there where marine boats were built in the past. That place has been submerged as well. So nothing to write home about in the community again. All our social cultural activities has gone. The secondary schools has been relocated for about 3 consecutive times now. Nothing again.
If urgent intervention is not coming any moment from now, the community will no longer in existence, because 2/3 of the community has gone already.
My fears is that if something reasonable, prompt action is not taken on the part of government to salvage this land, perhaps we might. We don't pray for such anyway. The community might go into extinction. We don't want that, because Ayeto community has helped the federal government, even the West Africa, in terms of marine, because when Ayeto was having a technical school, the Ayeto community has trained experts in marine engineering, in nautical engineering, and they are serving all the multinational companies that we can see in our offshore. Ayeto community has built the largest fishing boat in the history of Nigeria and West Africa. It was built here by the local carpenter, and those people that even built the boat, they were still alive. Check Fishing News International, is there.
If prompt and urgent action is not taken within, let me say, within the space of 2 months, where we stand here will no longer be. So, and that is why we are appealing to the federal government as a matter of urgency and exigency to please come to our rescue, so that Ayetoro is a historic community, so that it will not become a thing of history. That is our appealing. We are appealing to the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dito Sopadek, Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, to please come to our rescue, so that this glorious community will not become a thing of history.
So we are begging the federal government, we are begging the international community, we are begging NDDC, we are begging all relevant agencies to please come to our aid.
Apá wa ò ká o, kàn jọ kàn má jẹ́ kó kùn yìí kó gbé wa lọ, gbogbo ilé ibi iṣẹ́ wa, gbogbo ilé ìsìn tá ń pè church, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti wó.
I'm now appealing to the state government, federal government, and the world to give what you call immediate action on this community. If you were here about 7 years, about 20 years back, if we tell you the extension of this place, you can't believe.
There are many sad and dark events in human history, but none devastated the African continent like slavery. To understand some of the plight those who were sold into slavery went through, one must visit Goree Island, their last point of departure from the African continent to the New World.
Welcome to the program. I'm Okpeyemi Owoshi. We start off with business news. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, has accrued 6.9 billion revenue from the mining sector into the Nigerian government as in the first quarter of the year. A statement by the Minister of the Nigerian government collected an impressive 6.9 billion naira in mining fees and registered 18 new private mineral bars. According to the Minister, were a direct reflection of the government's dedicated efforts to raise awareness and attract the industry. The Central Bank of Nigeria's credits to the private sector marginally increased by 0.03% from the 76.25 trillion naira recorded in February 2025 to 76.27 trillion naira in March 2025. About 77.38 trillion naira was recorded in January, indicating a broader trend of credit tightening amid prevailing economic conditions in the country. Latest data released by the Apex Bank indicates a decline from January to March 2025, which is a relative drop of 1.11 trillion naira. We'll go on a break now and be back with company news.
Corruption not in my country.
Now, yeah?
Yes, Oga.
Okay.
Where I go come find 300 naira change?
I better try look for change now. Where they do business? Hey, Timmy. I did, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make a 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree to pay 200.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry the chair?
Okay.
What they touch me?
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fair. Why you not go pay you? Why you they extort your customer? You see this corruption, what would they hear for news? They see for people everywhere. Now be this so. This is corruption. Our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said? See, I seriously see lies.
way to find out if this thing is true or not. This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is know-how accommodated by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Nigerian breweries has returned to profitability, bringing respite to the biggest beer maker in Africa's most populous nation. After 2 years of FX-induced losses dealt a blow to the company's earnings. The Lagos-based firm declared a net profit of 44.6 billion naira in its 2025 unaudited first quarter results, a 186% rise from the 552.1 billion naira loss recorded in the same period of 2024. Now, the recent stability of the naira against the United States dollar saw a sharp drop in FX-induced losses as it fell to 178 million naira in the first 3 months to March when compared to 72.9 billion naira in the corresponding period of 2024. And the NGX Regulation Limited has sanctioned Aldin MC PLC for insider dealing in shares during close period. A closed period in the context of financial market refers to a specific time frame when trading of a company's stock or other securities is restricted, particularly for insiders and their connected persons. The NGX regulation, in a letter to Aldin dated April 16, 2025, said the company breached the provisions of Rule 117.18 period of closure. We'll take a break now, but when Money Matters return, we're discussing Dangote Refinery reducing fuel price consistently. I'll bring you details after this break.
Corruption not in my country.
What is wrong with you? Man saying no. Said I drove for more than 1 hour.
Yami, ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ká kúrò fún Ọlọ́run. Ká satisfy yín níbi ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe.
Ẹ wo jẹ́ ká lọ jàre ká kúrò nbí báyìí.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú. Hello. Hello, ọ̀gá. Màá dọ́dọ̀ yín lẹ́sẹ̀ I'm assure you 5 minutes. Màá dọ́dọ̀ yín ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
You are deceiving another customer just like you deceived us.
Same way he deceived us.
Eh? Why?
Ètò ní iṣẹ́ yìí. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun, ò lè jẹun. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun ìyá mi. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun. Workshop mi lélẹ́yìí. Ibi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Ìyẹn ló ń pè ní workshop. Ibi tó bá ti ń work ni kó má ti shop.
You cannot base your business on lies. Koda now, it is corruption and it cannot work. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of
Do you know there's a way to find out if this thing he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app. If you want,
let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper support from USAID and is
and it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. The Dangote refinery has further slashed the ex-depot price of premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, to 835 naira, its second price reduction in less than a week. Now, this latest adjustment marks a 30 naira drop from the previous rate of 865 naira per litre, set 6 days ago, and a total reduction of 45 naira from the earlier price of 880 naira per litre recorded. Now, in a statement issued by the Chief Branding and Communications Officer of Dangote Group, Anthony Chijena, the revised pricing will take effect across all partner retail outlets. The Dangote refinery, with its 650,000 barrels per day capacity, is Africa's largest infrastructure investment in Nigeria's energy sector. Refining locally and import, the facility has the potential to stabilize fuel supply, reduce forex pressure, and lower costs for Nigerian consumers in the long term. Now, earlier in April 2025, the Nigerian government maintained its commitment to the crude and refined product sales in Naira initiative, describing that it is important to alleviate the country's foreign exchange pressures and ensuring long-term energy security. Now, let's discuss the implications driving constant reduction that we've seen so far. Energy analyst Ayodele Oni on the program is down. Now, is it a technical or market perspective? What do you think is likely driving this at the Dangote refinery? Is it purely a response to lower crude prices or something more strategic?
Primarily, it's lower crude prices. If your cost is reduced, you generally want to pass that on. But that's together with competition. A number of people are still importing finished products, and he wants to remain competitive. I think it could also be a trade war over consumers. Recall that downstream energy and things are not so it's a volumes game. The international crude prices, and I also think there may be some price war that everyone wants to remain and wants to fight next year. Those are reasons I can use for the change in price, the view of those prices. Because no one's going to sell at a loss. And if you want to sell at a loss, it will be for a short period, the price war, and you want to get your competitors out of the market and then take the prices one or more.
And filling stations.
I think the issue generally is likely to be the fact that some of them have old stock. If you bought old stock higher, you may not immediately change pricing. 1, 2, remember that the equalization fund does not exist anymore. So the further you are away from source, the more expensive, because you have to take into consideration haulage and other logistics. So it may be cheaper in places like Lagos, in certain places, but further down the north and further down away from where your source and the hinterland is more expensive. So it's a function of that too. A function of having old stock, a function of the distance from the depot or the distance from your source, the more expensive. And there's no equalization fund like what we used to have prior to the PIA, where you had an equalization fund to ensure that prices were the same everywhere, right? When government still largely regulated. But with market, we did be market driven. All your costs of into the burner tip will be taken into consideration. And no one wants to do business at a loss, right? Like I stated before. So I think that those are the reasons for what we currently see.
Now, given the scale of Dangote refinery, do you think this could be the beginning of more competitive pricing in the local fuel market, seeing that NNPC has also reduced its own price as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I see that the current administration is quite for the market, right? Private sector participation, market-driven policies, and the market usually deals with demand and supply, right? The more demand compared to supply, the higher the prices go. The more the supply compared to demand, the lower prices go. And the more people you have providing a particular service, particularly with a homogeneous product, then you would have competition and prices should go down, unless, of course, the source of the least most efficient cost of production is where pricing starts. So if the cost is 80 naira per liter, then you need to start pricing from 8 naira plus X. So you will then begin to see people cheaper sources so that they can drive down the price. So I think it's a good thing, to be honest. I think it's a very good thing, having removed subsidy, that there's competition, and because of the scale, they can produce more. And you know, economics of scale is always a thing in energy, whether it's power, oil, and gas. The more you can produce, the more you can reach that liter, right? Compared to a number of modular, remember, I cannot move from night. And a number of them are already putting in that investment. Like I very well know, Aradel is already putting in that investment, because I did provide some advisory around that. So Aradel is already doing that. So a number of other refiners that are modular may begin to consider expanding and consider even a catalytic converter to ensure that they can move to PMS, and maybe they can sell and be able to be more competitive. And because some of them have brought upstream assets and refineries like Aradel, like Walter Smith, and a number of those companies, then they can integrate and they can play around pricing and be more competitive. And refinery with a reasonably large capacity, all of those can help ensure that the prices are more reasonable. As long as the international crude oil prices don't go up, or the price at which they get crude in Nigeria, if the crude arrangement is reasonable or does not increase. Because if it does increase, then it will affect the ultimate price. So the base price, which is the cost of crude, is always important, right? Because you are refining crude to get to those finished products, to then be able to find what the prices will be. So if crude prices are high, there's no way the prices of the finished products themselves won't be high. If crude oil prices continue to increase, there's no way the prices of petroleum products won't continue to increase. It's simple, right? It's input and output.
Now, how do you think this consistent price drop affects fuel importers and the broader energy supply chain in Nigeria?
Okay, for me, I think that, remember that the Petroleum Industry Act talks about backward integration. So we should get to a point where people import at their own risk. Because if prices are cheap and the petroleum products are high quality, why import? At some point, there'd be no, the law requires that there will be no import unless we cannot sufficiently produce for our own use. That's when people can then import. So I guess at some point, people need to begin to rethink their business model around whether they should really import. To the extent that you have sufficient production, prices are reasonable, I do not see why people should, unless of course they can get the same quality for a cheaper price. Then there's a good reason to debate importation. You know, that's the way I see it personally.
Do you foresee the strategy having any ripple effect on diesel or aviation fuel prices as well?
Oh yes, because remember that all of them are petroleum products. It's just the point at refinery that you have those items, right? Moving from one to the other, right? From the heavier to lighter to the heavier, or heavier to the lighter petroleum products. So it would be across the value chain, across the petroleum products items, from your naphtha to your AGO to your DPK to your PMS, across all of those. Because the analysis is the same thing. It's just maybe some have more demand than the others. So I think across the should be prices should be more reasonable. It should be to our own advantage as end users, as the burner tip.
Now, just before I let you go, Mr. Oni, how crucial is it for Nigeria to ensure transparency in pricing mechanism between refiners, marketers, and the final consumers?
products such as petroleum. I'm not one for regulating those products. I'm one, yes, transparency maybe as far as the government-owned energy company, NNPCL, and its subsidiary, particularly its downstream subsidiary, is concerned. When it comes to those products, the market would adjust. The market would determine. When someone sells at a particular price, someone else will sell lower, and then there's competition. I don't think government should begin to regulate those prices. I don't think so, unless government needs to step in. Yeah, you still have your regulation. Nothing government should determine pricing. The market will determine that. One, transparency. I think the NNPCL, as government-owned, as owned by Nigerians, held on behalf of the government. I think it's the Ministry of Finance Incorporated and the Ministry of Incorporated, according to the PIA. There should be that transparency around pricing and all of that to we, the owners, in quote. But for private enterprise, I think that you don't want to go that far, in my view. I would rather under-regulate than over-regulate to attract business and investment in that segment of the market.
even though it is considered that we have a so-called disability, we really are able persons with different abilities.
For society and development to be included of persons with disabilities, we need to have equal access to education and to knowledge and information. Yet, out of millions of publications each year, fewer than 5% are made available in accessible formats for visually impaired persons. In developing countries, an even smaller percentage of publications are available in accessible formats. The Marrakesh Treaty, as it is called, will greatly expand the availability of artistic and literary works in accessible forms, such as Braille, large print text, and audiobooks. This can make a real difference in the lives of the world's more than 300 million visually impaired persons.
At the end of the day, we must come together and make however and where we are in the world be a place of unification, because me being blind visually doesn't mean that I have to be blind spiritually. And someone being sighted doesn't mean that they should be blind of those things in the world that we need to fix. We have to have inclusion.
Let us not become handicapped again, blind to the issues and the problems of those in need.
My name is Bintu Salihu Garba, IGB. From secondary school, I moved on to Kano Polytechnic. That's where I started painting. And I'm happy I was the first female to start painting the Kano State. When I was a child, I used to draw. By then, I didn't know what painting was. I guess you understand what I mean. Then my uncle, then late, he now took us to London. That's where I saw paintings of master's paintings, very beautiful ones at the National Gallery of Art in England. So from there on, I just love painting and I pick up interest from there. Because I noticed after every painting, a painter will now inscribe his name at the bottom of the painting. That was what inspired me. I said, oh, I would love to paint and then inscribe my name on that. From there on, I just pick up drawing and then I continue drawing. From there, it just assists to painting. Honestly, if you say dominated by men, possibly it is only here in Kano that painting is dominated by men. Other places, women do painting. If you say challenges, there are quite a lot of challenges, but I was able to go through it because the men I'm working with then, they were also helping me to see that as a female, they kept encouraging me, even the lecturers, they encouraged me to paint. So I now pick up painting and I continue doing it, and I truly, really worked hard to get where I am today.